down so I can paint this picture. I can see a ring on your finger.
So last week,
Happy birthday.
happy
belated birthday, you old bastard.
I know, 35
I don't think that's old.
35 years old, and
That's
I
like-
feel 50.
Really?
No, I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is great.
Hmm.
When you get to 35,
I
you've
think-
experienced a bit more than you have when you're 20, 21. But at the same time, you still got a lot to live, haven't you? So
I think it's a good age.
it is.
I think it's a good age.
It is a good
What do you think causes people to have like? What age is like midlife crisis age?
midlife crisis age, 36.
You're 1 year to go, buddy.
Got 1 year to go.
No, what?
But
is
no,
that
on a
like
serious
40?
no, I don't think midlife crisis exists. I think it's just a part of your life where you want to try new things.
Or do you think that midlife crisis only happen to people who maybe haven't done what they've wanted up until that point, and then they kind of have this realization?
I've got a little bit of time left. I've got to get out there and I've got to do these things.
Because it's like when people have illnesses and things like that. Like that's when they start living. They find that they've got some terminal.
Yeah, and I think
disease.
the other thing is that when you get to that sort of part in life, you know, you've done the job, you've held the job down, you've paid the mortgage. You know, you got a bit more disposable income coming in, and the responsibilities drop a bit. So you get out there and you want to buy the nice cars, you want to go on the fancy holidays. You know, you want to do the stuff that you've put off doing because life gets in the way and time as well.
Isn't it funny that society like does that though? Like we literally, there's a lot of people that do work to die.
Yeah, 100%.
They work and
100%.
and when they're retired, you know, that's their little time off before you die. That's quite a sad notion, really.
It is really sad. And the thing is, you know, the way that I look at it, because I think I was one of those people a few years back, sort of 2009. I went through that period where I started panicking, you know, 27, 28 years old, just had a little girl, didn't know what was happening. You know, I had a bit of a shit time, but we won't bring that up. But it was the whole thought process. I think I panicked during that point because I thought I'm at this age where really I need a career, I need to be, and I'd never worked for anybody at that point. So, you know, the fact that shit hit the fan, I had nowhere to turn, and time was a big problem for me because I thought I'm not getting younger. If I'm going to go back on my own and create this whole entrepreneurial lifestyle again, I've got to learn from the mistakes I've made, but I've got to enjoy it this time. I think it got to a point in that sort of 5-6 years of working for myself, being in partnerships, whatever, where I didn't enjoy it anymore. I didn't enjoy entrepreneurialism. Is that the word? But But now I think, you know, 35 years old, it's a good age. I'm in my prime.
But I think you're lucky to have that experience at the age that you did.
Yeah.
Because like that's what we talk about. Like
100%.
if you say midlife crisis, I guess people go through that when they're like 50.
100%.
And they think, shit, where the hell has my life gone?
Yeah.
I've been working for the man for my whole entire life.
Yeah.
And now what? I've got a bit of a shitty pension and I fucking hate my...
But it's just harder as well, isn't it? You know, you're 50 years, 60 years old and you do what I did, bankruptcy and stuff.
But I think
what can you do? You're going to go out and get a job. It's hard, isn't it?
The
system
system's
doesn't
more
allow
ingrained.
that.
It's more ingrained in you at that point where it's like...
And I think at 27 years old, it's early enough to learn from those mistakes. You're a bit more mature about life, and you know, I'm not saying that you don't go on to make mistakes. I haven't made as many as I did then, but you still it's still a journey in it, life. So you get to a position where I think after that experience, I started to over-evaluate everything again. And in the last 2-3 years, I don't evaluate. I just wake up every day wanting to smash the shit out of the day. And I think that's the important. I think that was the click for me. So if that's what midlife crisis is, where you want to go out and do things every day and stuff, then I'm already going through that right now. You're 24. You're 24.
I think I've been through that then.
Yeah. How old were you when you went through that?
Like 23. Like last year, I think last year and the year before. That was kind of like my transition period where I was going through that whole learning about fame and learning that you don't gain happiness from some things that you think you want.
No.
And it turns out that, you know, materialism and things like that are just all fake.
Yeah.
And it just means nothing at all. And
No.
like you said, I think time is the only commodity that's really tangible on this planet.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that we can really solidly go by. This is the finite amount of time that I have.
Yeah.
I need to have a fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like, have fun.
But you don't know how long you got either.
No, you don't.
That time is put on there, and and you think, well, I want to achieve this, and I want to do that, and I want to have a go at this, and I want to take these risks.
But how many
But you don't know how
people's
long you got.
how many people's ethos of life is the first thing on their list is to have fun? Probably not many.
Well, it should be though.
Of course it should. Probably most people, it's the I think we said it before, like the house, the car, the relationship, the
2.4 children.
But you can have all of these things and still be absolutely miserable. It's and the evidence is there for how many celebrities that are drug taking and they're miserable in life, and they've and there's plenty of interviews with people like Lady Gaga. I watched an interview with Lady Gaga and she was talking about how it just all means nothing, and Russell Brand as well, who I think
He's excellent.
Yeah, I really like him. And he was saying I was in this swanky event, and bare brick walls, and everyone was like, it was one of those events with all the celebs, and he was like, it was just bollocks. Like, he's like, when you think you want to be in that room, but you really don't. It doesn't mean.
And we've been to those those events where people just don't look happy. They're on primetime TV, or
it's very isolating. I think. Yeah. I mean, I've done that I've done all of those the events and all of that kind of stuff. And I guess you have a good time if you get absolutely wasted, or you know, but you see the same people all the time, because I guess those are the only people that people think that understand them. Yeah. So people are around the same circles constantly, and it's just a little bubble of reality which no one steps outside of. And there's so much to nature, there's so much to life, there's so much to do, but yet everyone is in this little confined.
And what
bubble.
do you like doing with your time? So when you went through that situation last year, 23, and now you're 24, going on to 25, what do you do? Is it the spiritual side of things that you've adopted that sort of changed your whole mindset about time and how you use time, or you still shit with time, or you're good with time?
I think I try not to think about all the things that need to get done, but I try and stay in the moment with what I'm doing at that point in time, and then whatever else gets
Not
done
for a
then.
kiss, by the way.
I was getting excited. Whatever else gets done from that point, then it will get done. But I think as soon as I take my mind out of the moment of what I'm doing, and I think of everything else that needs to be done or potentially has to be done, it completely makes me miserable and just fries my brain. I can't be creative in that space. You can't be confident in that space either, because it's an unsure space. The past, the future is an unsure space. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. So whenever you stay in there too long, you become a very unsure person. When you're always in the future, or you're always dreaming about stuff, or you're always, this will happen, or you're worrying about what's happened in the future, you're completely missing what's going on, and you become that very unstable, ungrounded person. But if you're just always in the moment and you're always just enjoying it, you're allowed to be that grounded person then. So whenever I'm in a moment, I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as I can, because I know how short life is now. It's so short, like it's so insignificant. Like 100 years is not even that. It's just such an insignificant amount of time.
And how old do you want to be when you go? If you could.
If I could, I believe I probably already chose.
I
probably already chose. Yeah,
that's cool.
But
so what? You see, I'd love to get to 80. So I've still got I'm still about 45% of the way through my life. I think that's a nice figure.
But you don't know, because modern technology and modern medicine now,
it could be 200, 300 by the time
we might clock something, which means that we get to live
the whole process.
Yeah.
That'd be
could
awesome.
be something. There could be some.
But would
kind
it
of
though?
technological...
Because I think the big thing with time and the thought of dying at an older age, and maybe the people that are younger, that you like, your sons, your daughters, and stuff passing before you. I know that's one thing that scares a lot of people, isn't it? Actually living life, experiencing that through, spending time with the people that you've brought into the world, your daughter and etc. And then for them to pass for you must be absolutely devastating, you know.
Yeah, that's the old saying. No,
But then-
no parent should ever.
And also life partners as well, you know. Me and Del always joke about getting to sort of 70 together, sitting on the porch, rocking in our chairs, listening to blues music, sipping on a cocktail. But if one of us was to go first around that age, you know, you see so many old people where they lose that life partner, and then a few weeks later, they give in, you know, and they go as well.
You can go together, I guess.
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
I know, yeah, this is really sad.
Oh, deep.
How do we get from this for your birthday? Like, let's enjoy fucking. You're
It's your
35.
I know.
But yeah.
But no, you know, I think what is the day in the life of Mason Noise time wise? You know, do you make the most of sleep? Do you have sort of 7-8 hours and then you get up and then, you know, you make the most of that period of time? What's 24?
It's funny. I was watching
16 hours.
I was watching something on Mind Valley, about how like entrepreneurs are the most kind of productive with their days and things like that. Especially because I think your morning routine for me is the most crucial thing, because 100%. That sets you up for the whole entire day. If you have a shit morning, like, or if I get stuck in traffic, or I rush to get up, and then I'm just, you know, I've had that whole rushed morning, my whole day then is unstable.
So what do you do when you first wake up? What is the first thing you do?
Make my bed.
Okay.
Because
so you don't lie in your bed for a little bit on your phone or anything like that?
No, I try not to look at my phone now. No. I mean, sometimes I'm a culprit of that, but I think that first kind of that whole morning experience, you shouldn't be on technology. You shouldn't wake up that part of your brain yet.
I wish that I didn't do that. I'm, you know, the first thing I do
discipline.
is straight on it.
It's hard.
Social media.
That's what I mean.
Because it's a big part of my life and what we do as a business.
But
and a brand.
What I was watching about how to be like, what's your optimal times to be creative and things like that, especially for someone like me. And because when you wake up, your brain is still in dream kind of sleep mode. Yeah. So your neofrontal cortex, don't quote me on that, is still kind of asleep. So your thinking brain is still asleep. Yeah. But that's the state that you have to be in to channel creatively. And that's the best day. So a lot of the time I will wake up. I've woke up a couple nights now about 4 or 5 in the morning and just written a song. And then gone straight back to sleep.
So you're in a creative state of mind.
Yeah,
but if you're not a creative, and you are going to a job, administration,
I think writing in the morning is really,
that important.
Yeah, like
I read an article actually on that.
Just free writing.
Yeah, just free.com.
A lot of these entrepreneurs, a lot of these successful people are just free write. They're free writing. They have a journal. They'll have their like.
Yeah, Dale's got one. Yeah, so. Idea comes into her head, or the dream she's had, or whatever.
Right, you should write always. As soon as you wake up, remember your dream. Yeah. The first thing you should do, because that helps you create like new neural connections in your brain. Yeah. So try and remember your dream. If you can keep a dream journal, they're really there, because there's sometimes, you know, there's a lot of answers in your dreams about things that are going on in your life. If you decode them and like actually look online and stuff, there's so many answers about you know what your dreams mean and things like that. And like I said the other night, I actually I sang a song in my dream and then woke up and wrote it down.
That's quality. Do you know what happened to me once about 4 or 5 years ago? It wasn't in this house, previous house, and I had a dream. You know that lottery dream, the dream that you've won all the monies.
I haven't had that.
No, I've had that quite a few times. Never happened.
I had quite weird, trippy dreams.
But apparently, Adele saw me wake up during my sleep, go on my phone, wondering what I'm doing at 3 o'clock in the morning. Wake up next day to find out that the numbers that I'd won in my dream, I'd wrote in my notes on my phone. And to this day,
you use those numbers still?
Yeah, I don't know if I found this. Oh yeah, we're recording on it. But yeah, to this day, those numbers are still in my notes. And every iPhone I've had since, I've kept those numbers.
So did you play with them?
I did for a bit, but what happened in my dream hasn't happened in life yet. So I'm waiting for that trigger of deja vu.
Right, okay.
Because in my dream, there was key points that I know will happen at some point in my life, and that's the point that I put them on. But until that happens, and the other reason I don't do it is because I said to Del, like, if I was to put it on every week, recurring, just set up a lottery account and put the same numbers on week in, week out. That one time that the direct debit doesn't go through, or that one time it doesn't get put on, those numbers will come.
No,
out.
it needs to be. It can't be set like that. It needs to be intuition that rules.
And that's what you know. And I'm just waiting for that deja vu moment where you know I have a look at it and it's the crazy thing is as well is I put the numbers down for the lottery, the normal lottery, which is 6 numbers, and I also put the same line of numbers in the notes below in a separate dream. But I did it for Euro Millions, so I separated the 49
and you
with a
remembered
4 and a 9. So now I've got 2 lines, and the first line is for the normal lottery, and the second is for the Euro Millions. So I don't know which one's going to make me the monies, but it's going to happen. And I tell you, it's even more weird is I downloaded a Groupon voucher today, which gives me 10 lines this week.
10 lines.
The Euro Millions. yeah.
Birthday.
But you know. It's just weird, isn't it? What happens through your dreams and stuff. I remember that moment. I've had the tornado dream. Have you ever had the tornado dream? It's more of a nightmare. No, tornado dream comes back to me. I have a lot of tornado dreams.
I've got
to save my family from a tornado.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had the walk into school naked one quite a few times. Like walking. We forgot your trousers dream.
Not now.
Forgot your trousers.
That you wouldn't like. Probably not.
No, I haven't done that. No. This was before. Or you forget your trousers, that kind of thing. But now my dreams are super trippy.
Yeah. Tell me some of the celebrity ones.
Yeah. Oh, I have so many. Like I'll be one night I'll be smoking weed with Snoop Dogg, and then the other night I was chilling with like A$AP Rocky and Rod Stewart.
Yeah, no, I remember the Rod Stewart one.
What?
That's brilliant.
Then I was at like an award ceremony next to Jaden Smith and Jamie Foxx. Like, but I have.
But is there? Do you reckon there's triggers? Is it a film that you might have been watching, or have you got Rod Stewart on in the background before you go to sleep?
Some of these were completely random.
Really?
Completely, and they felt so real.
Oh yeah.
So real, and it makes you really question like, what is reality?
Yeah.
Is reality your dreams? Is it like, what is it like? Because if a dream world can feel that natural.
Yeah.
Then who's to say that this isn't exactly the same thing? Who's to say this isn't an illusion that you can?
100%.
Because you can have lucid dreams where you control your dreams. I haven't been able to have one yet.
Yeah.
But you can have lucid dreams where you control. You know you're dreaming, so then you can also I'm just gonna fly off now and go and explore and stuff like that. So what if this was just like a more physical lucid dream that people haven't realised that you can actually control your reality in them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think it is.
Because I've had quite a few of those dreams where you wake up and disappointed that it's not continuing.
But I've had things as well happen where you make a conscious decision for something to manifest and it happens.
Yeah.
Like almost like give or take a few hours or days or whatever.
And that happens
pretty
in reality,
instantaneously. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like this has happened in real life.
Yeah.
So then when you consciously think, okay, this is going to happen for me, and I'm making this happen, and then out of nowhere. I remember I always use the example of when I wrote in my journal in the mornings. I wrote to hire a yacht for my birthday, and that a month later,
an opportunity arose.
You came to me that you had that guy with the $1 million yacht club thing, and I was like, that's crazy.
It is.
I would have never expected, because a lot of people would think in their lives, to have this, I will need the money for this.
Yeah.
But it's not true. You can want for the experience of things, and they will find their way into your reality no matter what. Like a lot of people do say, I want to win the lottery, and they focus their mind on winning the lottery.
But winning the lottery is a dream for a lot of people, but it's a lazy route, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. But you cancel out all of the other routes that you could potentially be making that money.
Yeah.
Because what if you could make that money, but you come up with an idea for a business or a job, and you earn that money then monthly? Yeah.
It's absolutely feasible.
So,
but I think people put their energies in the wrong
places.
I think the lottery is great, but at the same time, it's the chances of winning it. It's a game. Against you, and
so you have to play every other game.
But life's a game in general.
Exactly.
We all take risks. I suppose if you're only contributing X amount of your wage to the chance of these 6 numbers dropping, or if but some people go crazy. They're buying 100 lines week in, week out, lottery lines, and what's it resulting in? Because if isn't that making them more depressed that they're putting this money in, time out?
But imagine
and it's not come off.
that £10 that you spend a week I don't know, on the lottery.
Yeah, invest it.
Why not invest that money
else,
into something? Because if you was to save all of that money up
over time,
that would be a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's probably so much that
you could do.
That in life, if you added up all of the useless shit that we've spent money on, obviously it's just one of those things. But all of the if you really,
that will never change.
No,
that'll never change, because the thing is, we all like to spend on things that make us happy at that point. You know, there's many a time where I've gone into Tesco's and walked away with a 6-pack of cream cakes, and there's only me and Del at home. You know, it's just.
Oh, but they're going to get eaten, though, aren't they? They're going to get eaten.
Yeah.
But.
Well, because they're fresh, it forces you to eat them all as well within a 24-hour period. But
yeah. I don't know.
But time is, going back to time, the thing that scares me about time is how little it is, like managing time and understanding time. I think going back to the whole sleep state and stuff, you know, you've brought meditation into my life. It's something that I've never done. You and my best friend Lewis, if you're listening, I know you will be. He said to me about a year ago, he said, you need to start meditating, mate. You need to switch off from absolutely everything, just literally come away from it all. And it's really hard when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business owner, when you're a dad, whatever, husband. You're constantly thinking, you're constantly on it, and you're constantly looking and reevaluating. I think what I do before I go to bed is I constantly look and analyse what I've done that day or that week.
That's a good trait, though. I do that. I analyse like the interactions that I've had throughout the day.
Exactly.
And I think that's just being self-aware. I just think it's a really good trait to be self-aware. But then you also have to know when I need this time for myself, because lots of people make time for the gym to exercise their bodies, but not many people make time to exercise their mind. I mean, yesterday I was in the studio, and I went for a kind of a meditation in the mornings, and then when I felt myself getting a bit too much in my mind, I went out for another walk and just sat in the field, was in the field, and then as soon as I grounded and refreshed, I just come straight back in the studio, and I just kind of reset. But you have to make time for your own reset schedule. Like if you need that time, then you need that time. But
don't sit there for 4 or 5 hours every night wasting it either. Do you know what I mean? I think we're all guilty at some point sitting there watching the box sets on Netflix, or the seasons, and
this is what I've
feeling compelled to watch it.
I've kind of grown out of now. Like I would rather watch funny enough, I had the choice the other night. I was thinking, should I watch this series that someone's been telling me to watch on Netflix, or should I watch this podcast with Professor Brian Cox? Because he's nice. Oh, he's incredible.
He is incredible.
Like his mind is just, some of the things I always do. I love to question things. I love to find out where things are coming at, and there's a lot of unanswered things by science, which are answered in spirituality. So I think that the last piece of the puzzle with breaking that glass ceiling that science seems to have reached, is to turn to that. And I think Stephen Hawking was at the end of his life looking for answers within that.
R.I.P.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, an amazing man, and I'd rather really just zone out and be consumed with something where I'm really learning. I mean, I'm watching podcasts like that, I'm reading something or whatever, and I'm constantly looking, cross-referencing, looking things up, and I'm like, I'd rather spend that time learning as much as I can.
But you can learn too much as well. You can, I mean, the amount of blogs, podcasts I watch, and I try and absorb it all, and obviously everything that I read or I watch isn't going to be relative to me, but when it talks about improving on yourself, your business, your life, whatever, because all of it comes together. We're all in this. It's like a cake mix, isn't it? Life. You've got it without certain ingredients. Then what is it? It doesn't make anything. That's why you've got to have your interests personally. You've got to have your interests commercially, and without those, without those individual ingredients working, or finding a better ingredient to put in there. Can you see what I mean? It's a really shit analogy, but what I'm trying to say is that
you have to keep searching for the best
recipe.
searching
for the best recipe. Yeah, but the problem you've got is with a lot of these podcasts, a lot of these, and this is why it's important that we make these podcasts interesting and talk about things that everybody experiences as well. I think that's the important thing. But the amount of time that we consume, like educational material, and more importantly, opinion. So this, what we're doing now, is opinion, and we're listening to people's opinion.
But I think that's why it's great to then cross-reference everything that you hear.
The threat for me is that you listen to one person's opinion, it really resonates with you, and you think, I'm going to adopt that into my model, I'm going to adopt that into my lifestyle, and then you see another opinion a week later on a podcast, or you see another opinion on a blog that you read, etc., and then it confuses you a little bit. That's what I struggle with.
This is why I don't listen to... for me, if it's cold, hard facts, I love listening to it. Like if I'm listening to Professor Brian Cox and he's talking about quantum mechanics or something, then great, like I'm learning stuff. But I'm not really too interested in anyone's opinion about stuff. I'll always have my own opinion about what I'm listening to. I think that's important, for you to have a start base, for you to have your own things that resonate with you, your own things that come from intuition more than anything else, and then you can base everything on that. But if you're always trying to create your own opinions from other people's opinions, you're never going to feel like you're in the right place in life. And that's what I used to do. I used to listen to everyone else's opinion about who I should be, what kind of artist I should be, what I should be this way, what I should be that way.
And I said to you when we first met, just stop doing that. Because the direction you wanted to go is the direction you want to go.
That's my soul.
You're not walking anybody else's path.
And I think
you're not living anybody else's journey.
But I think that's what's important for you to come, and that's why leading back to meditation. Yeah. This is why meditation is so important, because it takes you out of the headspace of that thinking mind which judges constantly, that little judge that sits in there going, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, which is not you at all. It's not attached to you. This thing is compiled of all the data that's been accumulated through your life, and it's creating this illusion, and it's so important to come out of that and come into your heart space, or come into your solar plexus where your soul resides, and just feel your body. And as soon as you come out of that, you feel as natural as anything walking through life. You feel like that you don't need a God, you don't need this chattering away, because this is something which is overdeveloped, because we've overdeveloped it, because we have developed this ego thing,
this consciousness that we've developed it, voice in your head
but that's why the oldest saying in the book is trust your gut. That's the oldest saying. And that's what meditation helps you to do. It helps you to ground
unless
that
you've
energy.
got IBS.
Unless you've got IBS, then don't trust your gut. But
no, on a serious note, I think the scariest thing for me is that you can waste too much time, and we're going back to the time situation. You can waste too much time on listening to everybody's opinion now, and trying to change your. I think it's easy to fake it as well, and look on social and the likes of Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, and see these entrepreneurs, these mentors, business angels, speakers, inspirational speakers and stuff, and you do listen to them, and they're great at what they do individually, and I'm sure they benefit people at different levels, etc. But my concern now is I'm turning into this entrepreneur that is constantly looking at other entrepreneurs and spending a lot of time not trying to become them, because I've never done that. I'm the same as you. Like, I've never gone down a path that is the easy sort of route by copying somebody. I don't want to copy anybody. Now, it's really hard to sound completely unique nowadays. It's very different in your industry, in the music industry, because what you're creating is very different to anybody else I've heard in the music industry. But when you're an entrepreneur and you create a service platform, or you create a product, all you're doing is taking what exists and making it better. As simple as that. And to a degree with music, because there's only so many riffs can be played, there's only so many different chords that can be played, etc. At some point, something is going to sound like something, if you know what I mean. But with business, with life, with brands and work and all these various the things we have to do, is very difficult to focus on when you've got so many distractions from these opinions that you spend time looking at to try and improve on yourself. In a roundabout way, what I'm trying to say is that you go through school life, great days, like, we're not the older generation, the next generation, they look like my parents. Oh, it's the best days of your life. School was the best days.
They were
because of the lack of responsibility, and time wasn't an issue. The 6 weeks holiday felt like forever, but the first 4 weeks of the 6 weeks holiday were the best time of your life, because you had no responsibilities, you had no pressures on you, and get to enjoy it. And
But I think you can still.
just the banter and.
I think you can still live that way, though. I think that the problem is that people do like to constantly relive their glory days.
Yeah.
Without
100%.
thinking about, well, I can. There's no reason why you can't have that level of fun in your everyday life. And I think it's because people settle. They settle for the people around them. They settle for like friends. They settle
then
for.
we're told balance. You know, I
But
don't like balance.
I think that's
hate
rubbish.
balance.
I think a lot of these things are told to us for the purpose of society to be able to take over, but they're not.
Okay.
They're not thinking about your individual life, which is exactly what we're here for. If everyone lived the exact individual life that they came to live, and lived from their soul, we wouldn't have so much miserable people.
Yeah.
Because everyone would be doing what they want to do, and I think that you can have complete fun. If everyone followed exactly what they wanted to do, you have fun whilst doing that, and it doesn't become a job anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't consider doing music a job because I love doing music. So to me, you should be able to make a living from something that you love doing. And I think that now society teaches us you got to go to uni, you got to go and get a job, you got to go, and then you got to earn your wage, and then you got to get your house, and and it's like, I read something from the Dalai Lama which says we sacrifice our health to earn wealth to then spend it back on our health.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Wow.
such a simple notion, but
Yeah.
it's so true. It's so true. We're not thinking about, we're not. It's always everybody else, and I think we're taught that the word selfish is a really negative connotation, but we're not selfish enough, I don't think. Because if people were to really work on themselves, then I think you'd be more caring for other people as well.
Yeah.
If you start within yourself and you really find a happiness within yourself, then that radiates out, and then everyone around you can be happy then. But people just they accept that this life is just shit. Or this world is just shit. That's just the way it is. Why?
No, don't accept that. Just get out there innit, and do it. Just wake up and enjoy life.
We have a blessing that the sun rises every single morning, and every single moment is a complete.
Every time
you can literally
breathe.
go, I'm changing my whole entire life now. That's the power that you
is,
have
yeah.
over your own life.
That is, yeah. When you look at it like that, that is, single-handedly the most impressive thing about life is you can change the direction at any point. If you wanna walk out onto the street naked, you can do it whenever you want. You might get arrested, but you can do it, can't you? Do you know what I mean? These things that
That's
you get
freedom.
in your head, freedom, yeah.
That is freedom.
Freedom is phenomenal.
But are we really free?
I feel more free now than I've ever felt.
But that's because you've created a environment, an ecosystem around your life and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people probably don't have the balls to do. They don't have the balls to say fuck you to the boss and I'm going to start my own shit, because a lot of people haven't. This is why I said, like, a lot of people have a problem with sitting with themselves.
Yeah.
If you didn't have your phone in the room, your laptop, you didn't have your laptop, you didn't have your TV, would you be able
100%.
to relax and have a good time?
That's what I can do now, yeah.
Exactly,
Definitely.
but a lot of people, they'd be fidgeting, they'd be
Yeah.
looking for their phone, they'd be looking to put the TV
Yeah,
on.
there was a programme on it last year, I think it was, where they put them in a room and it was a family. I think it was in the house actually. They took everything away, took them back to sort of Victorian ages, took away the technology, took away the clothes, and over time they would be reintroduced certain items, and it was to see what the process was in their mind, whether they'd pick the phone over essentials, if they would need that piece of technology over something else, because they wanted to see if this family could still communicate like we would have going back 10, 15 years ago. Even, as early as that, 10 years ago, we used to sit around the dinner table as a family and chat about what we'd done that day. People don't do that anymore.
No.
I'm guilty for that. I think, again, time is an issue. I get back in, we cook our food, we sit with it on our trays while we're watching TV, because we're going to run out of time to watch that box set that we're watching before I sit there on my phone and watch a load of podcasts or read a load of blogs.
This is one of the things that
time.
This is one of the things that I learnt from a guy called Danny Pandy, which is he's a monk.
That's a great name.
Yeah, he's like a 20. I don't know how old he is now. he's like a 20-year-old monk. He went to a monastery. He's probably in his 30s now. He went to a monastery when he was like 23, and in Hawaii, and they have to give all their possessions up when you go. So you give all your clothes. He had to give all his money away before he went. He didn't speak to his parents or his friends for 10 years.
Wow.
All they give you is your beads, your robes, and a MacBook. And they do watch TV. They have a MacBook.
Oh, a MacBook.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they have like stuff that they do on the computers and stuff. He was like, we're not completely shut off from the world, but they had an allocated time at night where they'd watch TV. But the whole point of this is that a lot of people think that meditation will instantly change their lives.
No, it doesn't.
But it's not the case. What you have to start with is what he says, is being mindful throughout your whole entire day.
Yeah.
And that's what gears you up for your meditation.
Get myself a Rocky.
Let's do it. We got some
Chocolate.
some old school Rocky chocolate bars. But yeah, so that's what gears you up for your entire day, which is what leading on from what you said about, watching TV and eating your meal. Like what a lot of monks believe, and Buddhists, and with mindfulness, is that if you're eating something, you're eating something, and you should be completely focused on what you are eating, and you're in that moment, and you're enjoying your food in that moment, and everything else stops apart from you nourishing your body.
I've switched off. Sorry, I was.
So yeah, like and that applies to anything. If I'm on my laptop, I'm on my laptop. I'm not on my laptop, switching to the phone. Or, if I'm watching whatever I'm watching, I'm concentrating on that. I'm not switching between things, because that's how.
But the one thing that me is, and we don't go to bed till midnight some nights, and the reason we don't go to bed at midnight is I think we're scared of missing out on something. Now, I'm not on about like just watching box sets or getting to the next season or whatever. I'm talking about elements of social media posts that we might miss out, conversations people are having online, etc., podcasts that go live at 11 o'clock at night, etc. There's a lot of things. I was saying this to Del the other day, like I've got a family that go to bed at sort of 9-10 o'clock after a hard day's work, get back up at 6-7, feel really good. But that lifestyle for me, I feel like if I went to bed at 9 o'clock every night, that I'd be missing out 3 hours of quality time that I get to spend with Del.
But I don't necessarily believe that.
But at the same time, it's
You
not
need
great
that amount of
health.
sleep either.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are maximising your day and optimising your day, the whole point of doing that is, and having about 6 to 7 hours sleep, is that as soon as you go to bed, you fall asleep. Because a lot of people, they'll say, I'll have an early night. They get into bed at 9, their brain's still active.
Sitting on the phone, watching TV.
And their body actually doesn't sleep for another few hours. So the point is that you optimize and you maximize your day, so that when you do hit the pillow, you're straight into REM sleep. And there was a experiment done where these guys literally slept for 2 weeks in 4-hour stints.
Okay.
So they wouldn't have a normal night's sleep. They'd sleep for 4 hours at night, and then they'd sleep for 4 hours in the day.
What is it?
Or 2 hours, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's a program, isn't it?
And what happens is
it's just something cycle. I can't remember.
Yeah, so you get so tired that every time you sleep, you fall immediately into REM sleep.
REM. That's
REM rapid
cycle.
eye movement.
Yeah,
you fall straight into that. So you get a better amount of rest. But the funny thing is with meditation, is that 20 minutes of meditation is equivalent, if you're deep in meditation, is equivalent to 5 hours REM sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
because your body completely shuts down and your mind completely shuts down. You're aware.
So it's almost like a boost, like a power boost, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like
and
20
you can
minutes
use
doing that is much better.
And that's what I did yesterday. Like, I felt really drained. I was in the studio. I had a lot of lights, a lot of technical crap.
Yeah.
Straight out into the woods, grounded all that energy, and it literally is. Especially, I recommend everyone always just taking a walk into nature. The woods like immediately grounds you and takes all that energy away. And it was like it's like plugging your charger into the wall socket. And a lot of us don't do that. We go to sleep. We're on our phones straight away before we sleep, which is the worst thing, because it takes your brain an hour to calm down after you've been on your phone. So even if you was to put your phone, your brain is still active, and that can ruin your whole night's sleep. So what I do, like in the mornings, don't touch your phone for an hour, and before you sleep, don't touch your phone for an hour.
Which is easier said than done.
It totally is. It's so easy, but that's why just turn your phone off and turn it upside down and put it in the corner of the room where you can't reach it.
Yeah.
And
you don't need it. I remember when phones first came out, it was about just picking up the phone to the people that you haven't spoken to for a while.
Well, it proves that we don't need it then, because I didn't use my phone this much when I had a Nokia 3310, and my life was still great.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm really opposed, even though, like, you know, we have to post on social media and we have to do this shit. Like, I'm really just opposed to it, because I feel, as I'm on social media, the more I'm on it, I feel my mood dropping. Like, I feel that, like, the energy draining from me as I'm on it. I'm like, and I think there's an app as well that you can get on your phone where it tells you the amount of time you spend on your phone, and it's actually really, it's so scary. It's so scary. And if you imagine, like,
it's a must nowadays though. Like, if you're not on social media, if you're not doing
then where are you?
Where are you?
You're not in touch.
And it, you know, absolutely, I'm an advocate of the system. I love digital. I love being able to communicate with people that you would not necessarily normally be able to communicate. And that's the flip side of it. We have these debates, we have these conversations about the situation. I think it's a level playing field, isn't it, the internet, and it allows you to create those opportunities that you would not necessarily have been able to do without it. So,
it's an amazing place, and I think that
I think it's balance.
The only problem we have with all this technology is that we don't know how to manage it and when to stop. We're using this technology now because it's there and it's very compulsive, but it's not conscious. We're not allocating our time for it. We are involved in that world of things, but we're completely missing the real. Yeah. What is the real world? But, you know, the world that consists of you actually enjoying experience. Yeah. And I seen a funny meme actually of like a crowd at a concert, and everyone was filming the concert on their phones, and there was
none of them watching it live.
None of them watching it, but there was an old woman right in the midst of them who was just watching it like this, and it was like, this is the generation that learnt to enjoy the moment. Yeah, and we've completely lost that. Right. You see everyone at a Justin Bieber concert or whatever, they're all on their phones. Yeah. They're not there in the room, and it's funny. I was listening to Terence McKenna, who's a like a psychedelics kind of philosopher, and he was saying that we live for this nostalgia of things that we never truly lived, and we live in this place where we are constantly reminiscing about things that we were never really in the moment for, and your brain will sort of make up certain bits and parts of it. Yeah. And like I said, But
also, it'd be depressing to know that you only viewed that through the screen of your phone. Do you know what I mean? If you came back up on your time up 3 years later, and then the whole concert sitting on your phone, I think your brain would think, well,
but that's what I mean. Like,
what was the atmosphere like?
It's like photos. A lot of people will miss the moment in something to take a photo of the moment, to then remember that photo. Yeah. But wouldn't you rather be there and have that memory ingrained?
That's yeah.
So it's like people don't trust their own memories anymore. They trust the memory on their phone more than they trust their own brain, because it's like, would you rather be in this moment now and then be able to close your eyes and relive it, or do you need to look at it on your phone to be able to relive that moment? And I think that's what's probably shrinking our brain capacity. Yeah. That's what's shrinking our brain capacity, because.
But at the same time, social media demands that.
It does.
If you don't document your life, then what have you got to talk about? If you don't document your learnings, or you want to put your opinions out there, then that platform gives it you. But I agree with you. You know, it's almost like it's a vicious circle. That's what we're in. We're in this circle now. And it's not even a circle of life anymore. It's a circle of digital and circle of, you know. I think we're so aware of our surroundings, but so blind to it as well. Can you see what I mean? 100%. So that when I have these conversations with you, I actually think to myself, I absolutely love. So I've got one voice of me saying I love social media, I love digital marketing, I've got a business built on marketing, but then I think it's really bad.
But that's giving yourself the time to switch.
But I think this middle ground is where I want to keep going down. So create good content. Document parts of your life, the parts that you want to share with friends and family, the parts where your family should have been there with you but can't be there. Can you see what I mean? So if you're at an event where you really want to, it means something to your mom, your dad, your brother, your cousin, your sister, whoever, then document it. But posting photos whilst you're on holiday, in the grand scheme of things, is no benefit to anybody. It pisses everybody off that's working 9 to 5 whilst you're on holiday. And then when they see this stuff, are they really looking at it and saying, glad you're having a nice time?
No.
Exactly. But you get that. You get comments all over your photos.
I was going to say this, on Instagram the other day, is that I was scrolling through Instagram and I was like, fuck, like, when are we going to get bored of everyone just doing these photographs for Instagram? Like, people stage an entire photo and an entire situation to take that snap, to upload it, to make it looks. The pictures on some people's profiles look like incredible. Like, they constantly have a professional photographer, and their life looks just picture perfect.
Documenting their life, though, aren't they?
It
but
looks
it's
picture perfect.
faking it to make
but
it. But
you ask, are the kind of the way those pictures express what's going on, are they living that, or are they staging that for the Instagram, but they're not
just
really
placed.
It looks like it would be a great experience, but was you really having that great experience, or was that the brochure experience of eating my meal, and then it's like but I see it all the time. I see it in clubs as well. Like, I've seen it in clubs before when girls will be like filming on Snapchat, like, woo, in the club, and then as soon as the phone goes away, it's
not having a great time. That's sad, isn't it?
It's like, what? We just don't know how to have a good time anymore.
No.
How often can you just speak to someone like this, like a stranger? And
I think this is something that I've changed with Del in the last year. We don't document our life as much as we used to. We just enjoy the moment together. If we're there and we're doing something with the family, or we're doing something with Izzy, we just enjoy the moment. I'm with you on that. That's so deep what you've just said, because I think it's so applicable to so many people nowadays. Social media, and not just social media. We can't keep going back to social media. It's not just social media. I think society in general has created this whole scenario where we don't talk, we don't communicate, we don't share. I think we covered some of that in our last podcast, didn't we? Where we talked about how people just don't communicate like they used to and stuff. And I think this is all, again, about time, though. I think social media is a quick process. Take a photo, few hashtags, put it up, bang, world can see. The old school way of doing things: take a photo, take it to Jessup's or one of the old school printing shops that are shut. You don't know what images are going to come out. You don't know whether you're going to be allowed them.
But that was the excitement. That's the excitement.
And it's gone now, isn't it?
We live in an instantaneous world where now everything has to be faster, everything has to be better, every computer has to be faster, every interaction has to be faster and easier. And now we don't even talk anymore. We just have emojis and GIFs and these kind of and the new age hieroglyphics, and that's it. And what's that Netflix show that we watch? And there was Black Mirror. Black Mirror. Anyone I would suggest watches 100%. That program. Genius. I watched one last night where this guy was in a gaming world, and he has have you seen that one? There's like a game, like a little game chip in it. He's in like a haunted house. Oh, and this. Oh my god, man! I was ripping my hair out at the end of that. So he's in this
But that's the way it's. Yeah, that's what kids are doing now. They're locking themselves in the room and becoming absorbed in these other realities.
And I've seen the virtual reality technology that I've previewed, that I've seen that's coming out.
Yeah,
is
some of these AV technicians.
It's like you can be in your room.
Yeah.
And there's things 3D HD in your room, and you've got these little goggles on. Like, kids are going to be like,
"What? This is what is wrong." We are going through this situation where we're creating a different reality because we hate the one we're in.
But we're not just fixing the one that we're in.
No, just fix the one we're in.
It's so true, and I think that was stated by that other episode of Black Mirror when at the end he looks at the virtual reality screen of a rainforest, and that's what it leads back to. It's always going to lead back to.
And acceptance in society with the likes, the posts. There was a great episode.
Where the swiping one with the stars.
Different levels of life. Middle class, high class, etc.
But that's happening
was
now.
Controlled by not monetary value. It was by ratings.
But that's happening now. I mean, if you got like a really like,
we need to do a podcast on VR. We need to do a podcast about reality, because
we should get someone in who like is a master at that, or plays VR games, or
understands
develops VR. We need someone who understands that.
And don't get me wrong, I think again, these technologies that are coming out are exciting. They are really, really exciting. But it's the same as anything in life. I think a little bit of it is okay. Too much of it is.
But this is funny enough. Back to Stephen Hawking. This is what he apparently warned about before his death. He warned about the side effects of creating artificial intelligence, creating virtual reality, and he basically said that would be the end of civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
These things are a means to an end, and exactly, like look at all these Hollywood movies, Terminator, all these kind of things. Like,
but I think we should definitely do a podcast about technology, because one thing, I love technology. Anything that flashes, got buttons, I'll get excited. I'm like a moth to a light. At the same time, there's so much about technology and its pros and cons. What it has done for society in a positive way. Technology in from a medical point of view. Technology in lifestyle. And then technology and how it's created all these problems that we cover quite a lot. Because I think what we're going to experience in these podcasts is we are going to talk about things that we've talked about in the past, but just overlap the conversations we're having, because that's what creates it. And you do, and we do need to go deeper, because technology is something that we all have adopted at some point. Even my folks, with the TV and laptops, and my dad's got 3 computers. I find that quite funny. Sorry, Dad, but you've got 3 computers. And I understand the reasons in your mind why you're justifying that, but there's only you using one computer at one time.
But I think that's why the more time that I isolate myself from technology, the more when I come back to it, I feel the adverse effects of it. The more I go out into nature for the whole day, if I go out into the woods or the forest or whatever for the whole day... But the first thing
you want to do is check that, because you've missed it. Can you see what I mean? So you've gone for that walk, that meditation, you've done what you needed to do to reboot, but then you put yourself back in that situation where you pick your phone back up.
And that's what I mean. I feel...
So could you give up your phone completely?
No, because that's how I'd have to carry on, maybe apart. I mean,
but you see, this is what we're all.
If I was in a space, if I was at a level of Ed Sheeran or someone like that, then I would.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it. He did it for a year, didn't he?
Did it,
If I was at that space where I didn't have to climb the ladder anymore, where I was earning, millions through, I had, fucking offices, or I was selling music, and I honestly would give it up. As long as everyone else was sorting things.
Yeah.
The distribution is sorted, the marketing's sorted, everything is sorted. Personally, I would come off social media.
Yeah.
I would. I don't mind being in photos with people.
So it's a means to an end now, isn't it, at the moment? For you, for me, for people that are in our immediate sort of circles, our network, business, commercial, or personal.
It's compulsory.
It is. It's compulsory. Yeah.
To stay with the times, it is compulsory. But
is that how it's been integrated into society? Are we being? We could go really deep now, and we can talk about, as technologies and all this, the way that it's marketed, and the growth of Facebook and the growth of Twitter and Instagram. Is that controlled by companies that have created an opportunity, or is it controlled by a much deeper society of a way of controlling
reptiles?
Well, of course, it's how Hitler convinced. He brainwashed through propaganda, through the radio. you know, because there was no other way of communicating. We're going to get that money back for you.
I 100% think that media at the moment is a complete distraction from what is really going on. I go on my Snapchat and you look at the news on Snapchat and it's like relationship this, someone split up with this.
It's just sad.
It's just
news.
bollocks. It's just bullshit. Like, I don't give a fuck who's dating.
But then this is what you see. All this negative shit we see. Do you know why memes are kicking off? Why people love it so much? You know, when it's a dog doing something silly, or it's
because we're constantly looking for that little bit of happiness within all of this shit. With all of this shit, and I think that, like, I see all these breakups and these fucking celebrity gossip bullshit, and it's like there's a huge pile of shit which is a mile long floating around in the Pacific Ocean full of plastic which is killing animals, and that's never on the fucking news. But I will go on my Snapchat and find out instantly who's fucking who in the celeb world. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care. I have celebrity friends. Cool. I don't give a fuck about your relationship, and I don't care whether it's in the fucking press or not either.
As long as it's making you happy. You don't need to read it somewhere.
No, if you're happy with your partner, be happy with your partner. Great. If people are going, like, do you know what I really hate? Like, everyone who's trolling fucking Ant at the moment for he crashed his car drunk or whatever. Yeah. Like, dude, this guy clearly needs help. And I don't think he needs help. This is where I think that meditation and the Eastern way approach to life is really crucial, because this is how modern society can make you burn out. And that is the reality of it. We all have relationship issues. We all go through crises.
We do.
But it's knowing how to ground yourself throughout all of that, so you can be the iceberg that when Titanic hits it, you're not the one moving.
No.
It's the other thing that's sinking. It's the critics that are sinking. It's everything else that's sinking. And you are that solid iceberg in life that, you know, no matter how much the waves hit it, you know this thing ain't moving, because 2/3 of it is underwater and the rest of it you can only see. Yeah. So, and you know what, like, you know, all the media splashed it out and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, most people are probably looking at thinking, you know, getting entertainment from that. But if we lived in a world where everyone took that media and then spat it back out and says, you know what, we're actually really compassionate about him and we all wish him the best and we all hope, it was like it wouldn't have the same effect anymore. No. It wouldn't have all the trolls on it. It wouldn't have all that.
No, and we're not condoning what he did, you know, to drink and then run into the family. Could have been a lot worse situation. Anybody that drinks and drive, they have issues. Some people have got, you know, more issues than others, but you could see leading up to that situation that, you know, and I'm not just talking about the previous time that he's gone into rehab and stuff. I'm talking about leading up to it in the last couple of weeks on Saturday, like takeaway, and you can see it in his eyes. You can see it. You can see when you can. I think energy, you know they say that the eyes are the doorway to the soul, or the window to the soul. So, and you can see that. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in my family's eyes. You know, I can see it in my wife's eyes. I can see it in my daughter's eyes when things are troubling. And I think, you know, that's been on TV and in the media for the last few weeks. And for him to still not have anybody, like his best friend is Deck, he knows something's wrong. So why is he saying to him, let's carry on with the TV stuff? But then are they allowed to give up?
But if you imagine, if meditation was made as accessible as alcohol was, I don't know how that would happen, but, you know, if the resources were there...
It's there, isn't it? It is there, though.
It is there, but I guess people just don't believe in it because they don't...
Well, it's just not talked about enough.
It's not talked about enough.
As simple as that.
You know, people... What is the reason people turn to drink and drugs? To shut their mind off, eventually.
Plus, it's ready, available. Like
it's an escape. All it is an escape. And when you realise that you can escape from all of that and go within yourself and just... be in this cocoon almost, it's the most comforting, resetting feeling that you'll ever feel, and it's so much more better than getting wasted out of your face or whatever. It was something which said as well, it's like, the more I talk to you, the more I sit with you, the more I get to know you. So that after a year, you know, we get really close, and after 10 years, you consider someone you really know that person, you're really friend. But if you added up the amount of time which you've sat with yourself,
That's true.
How many years could you say that you've sat alone with yourself and got to know yourself? You've sat with plenty of people on this planet and got to know them, your parents, whatever. You can say, well, your best friend, I've known this guy for 15 years, he's a great guy. Can you honestly amount that time in 15 years to say that you've spent 15 years improving yourself?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. So, yeah.
But life is great.
Life is great. An hour. So we always do this, man. We say we're going to talk for 20 minutes and then it's an hour.
Is that an hour or 2 hours?
No, it's an hour.
An hour. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it starts at 1. But yeah.
Sound. I think that's how we finish.
Fuck it.
When you go low,